I won this bayonet on eBay. It was listed simply as Unique World War II Bayonet. It's in fact a World War I era German Seitengewehr 98 bayonet, known to collectors as a Quillback due to the unique blade shape. It's actually a first model, known as the old pattern. These were only made during the first 4 years of production, from 1898 to 1902. It has a unique one-piece wooden grip that wraps around underneath. This is obviously a poorly fitting replacement, but under it you can see the shape of the steel. Compare that against the 9805 Butcher bayonet, which has the same grip as the later and much more common SG98 new pattern. The grips are 2 pieces, and the steel underneath them is the same shape as the grips. What I'd like to do with this bayonet is to bring it back to its former glory. That means removing the rust that covers it, as well as making a better set of grips and the screws to hold them on. Let's get started. Here's the completed bayonet. The new grips are certainly an improvement over what it had to begin with. A few notes on the making of these. You can see the defining feature of these early pattern grips, that it's one piece that wraps around the bottom. It's pretty thin there and fairly fragile. You can see that while shaping, I always either had a piece of wood inserted or shaped them while on the bayonet. The grooves on the sides here also wrap around the bottom, which I could see in the reference pictures online. They look to be in the same area as on the 05 bayonet here, and there's the same amount of them, 9, so I copied them. The wood I used is walnut, and I sanded down to 220 grit and finished with boiled linseed oil. I didn't bother staining beforehand. I like the natural walnut color, even if this piece was a bit light. I also applied the oil over the screws, which will provide some rust protection. I think they look better natural. If I were to blue them, they'd contrast too much with the light grips. And a note on the screws. I've never actually unscrewed these before. I wanted to duplicate the look as much as I could, but not knowing how they look on the inside, I used the milling machine to cut a square similar to on a carriage bolt. This prevents the screw from rotating when the nut is tightened. And I needed to make my own screwdriver bit by milling a slot in it. It was almost too easy to cut, so I'm not too confident that this bit is very strong. The rust on the bayonet came off easily by boiling and carding with the soft wire wheel, leaving a fairly even blued surface behind. And now that it's all cleaned up, I can show close-ups of the markings. On the spine of the blade is the cipher of Emperor Wilhelm II and the date of production. This looks to be 1902, the last year that these were made. And on the side of the guard is a unit marking, 12R12 and maybe 91. That means that this was issued to the 12th Infantry Regiment. A capital R is regiment, while a cursive R is reserve regiment, 12th Company, and finally weapon number 91. I'm not sure what the 504 underneath means. On the other side, unfortunately, the maker's mark is worn down enough that I can't quite make it out. But overall, I'm very happy with this bayonet. Both the fact that it's a rare first model, and I think the restoration turned out great. It's a bit of a tight fit on the rifle, but that's all I have for now. Thanks for watching.